Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Genuinely Curious podcast. I'm your host, Shantiana Keys. And last week, you got to hear my conversation with Katie Moon. Hope y'all like that. She was a phenomenal first guest. As I mentioned in the last episode, two-time world champ, gold medalist at the Olympics. Like, that's huge. So, loved having her on. Loved getting to know her beyond the field, beyond track. And so, if you haven't listened to that episode, make sure you go back, listen to that episode, and then come back here and let's hang out. This will be a pretty fast podcast as I decided to just sit down and record it before going to a party really quick because I've got light right now here on the sun porch. So diving right in. Oh, I did want to say shout out to my friend Caitlin who helped morph and name this podcast. Okay. I think I originally said just genuinely curious or something like that, or just some version of those words. And then she just cut it to genuinely curious. And I never gave her any props for that. So appreciate you, Caitlin. Caitlin used to be my intern and I love her very much. Anyway, moving on. Happy summer. I feel like we've officially hit summer now. I feel like we're in that in Georgia at the very least, we're in the nice part of the summer before it gets really hot and humid where you can't run after 11 a.m. So I'm really enjoying that, and then I'm enjoying my free time. I've been on the couch pretty much all week, haven't had work. I have loved it very, very much, but I go back into the gym tomorrow, so there's that. But all in all, having a good time, watching a lot of TV. I watched Dune. I watched Lainey Wilson special. I'm going to talk about that later on. But I've watched so much TV. There's been so many WNBA games on. I've been watching that. So again, that's something else we're going to talk about. I've also been going to garage sales. Like anytime I see a garage sale, one thing I'm going to do is stop. If I have time, if I'm not going anywhere special, I'm going to stop and I'm going to go to a garage sale. And I've been thrifting. I thrifted this Serena. Well, it's not a Serena hat. It's a 1999 US Open bucket hat. And I was with my friend Maya. We were shopping and I'm playing around not playing around. I'm searching around in the bucket and I pull this hat out and I'm pretty sure Serena won that US Open. So I Google it. Of course, boom, 1999 US Open. First one. So I'm thrilled. And if I somehow get to meet her when I go out to LA for the ESPYs, if I can get her to sign that, oh my gosh, I will be incredibly unwell. Another thing that made me unwell this week was I called Dijon mustard while I was in Sprouts getting a sandwich made. I called it Dijonais mustard. Like Dijonais from Proud Family with the Dijonais mustard hair. I was mortified. And I laughed in this woman's face and I had to hold it in after I got it together. I had to hold it in the whole time I was at Sprouts, and that was just insane because I couldn't explain to her the whole Dijonais part of it. That would just be ludicrous. I'm also in the process of purging clothes from my closet, and there are a lot of clothes. I wish I could show you the type of things that I've hung on to in the year 2024, and I might do that. I might just show y'all the absurdity, but I finally got it into a bag, so I might not actually do that because it's taken weeks to do that. My brain has just really had a hard time. One, I hate to let clothes go. That's the thing. But again, baby girl, why do you still have those pants from freshman year of college? We're not doing business casual like that anymore. You're not wearing that out to the club or the bar. Okay? So let it go. So it's taking me taking me some time to get rid of those type of things. The things I got rid of easily were skinny jeans. I look at them now and I'm like, why did I ever do that to myself? And of course, we know it was in style, but it looks absurd now. But I did hang on to some boot cut because I feel like that's legitimately coming back at some point. So I did hang on to those. But moving on to actual pop culture and sport topics, let's talk a little bit about this whole Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese debacle. Well, actually, I don't want to say it's a debacle between the two because I don't think it is. But this is all coming from the Fever Sky game that happened yesterday. And once again, we got a terrible take by Matt Barnes, another man on a podcast. And you just have to think that, well, no, actually, I was going to say you have to think that they're trying to get clout and not clout, but like get clicks to their videos. But like the reality is, I don't think that that's totally true. Yes, I do think it's a byproduct that they are fully aware of. But I don't think that they don't think these things. Like when they're sitting around with their friends and they're talking to each other on the phone about women's basketball, which like crazy. I feel like they are saying these things. I've been in a room of men talking about things, and like this seems like a totally reasonable idea that they continue to put out into the world, like a totally reasonable thing to them. So yes, I do believe it's an easy way to get clicks and likes and stuff, but I also think they truly believe that. Like, you're not going to tell me that Charles Barkley doesn't actually believe the narrative that he was painting on Inside the NBA. You can't tell me Matt Barnes doesn't actually believe that they need an enforcer. I saw Draymond Green put that in the comments of somebody's video. When is somebody going to get her an enforcer? It's like, yeah, somebody should be trying to help her a little bit, but like the idea that she's just this damsel in distress, that's the tired narrative that I'm like so over. Kennedy Carter pushed her? Absolutely. Okay. Is it a basketball play? Of course not. Do I think that Kennedy Carter thought she was going to fly and hit the ground? No, I do not think so. I think she thought that there'd be a little more collision maybe from the other end and was not trying to level her and put her on the floor. I think she was trying to elbow, just like they had been doing, possession and possession before. And to think this is like unprovoked from anybody, and I hate that. I hate when they try to frame it as in like it's only this like welcome to the league thing. I don't think that that's the case. Like Caitlin Clark tried to stare Kennedy Carter down, and I don't know if she said anything because I couldn't see her mouth, but she definitely stared that girl down the possession before that. So like, let's stop acting as if Caitlin Clark is quote unquote innocent in all of this, right? Like, she's a basketball player. She understands trash talking and all of that. But I just really wish she, her coach, her organization would stop making it a thing about like she's the only one experiencing physicality. Aaliyah Boston got pounded around in that post last year, okay? And she just took it and they moved forward. She got stronger. She did what was necessary. And I just really wish y'all would allow her to make those kind of adjustments and stop giving her the platform to continue to like harp on this. Because that's part of the media as well. It's like allowing her to keep talking about it and keep asking her the questions, these leading questions about it, asking her coach these leading questions about it. It's like, that is not the reason they have lost so many games. It's not the reason that they are, I think, 2-8 right now. I don't think that that's the case. They're young. That is why they're 2-8. Okay? They've been close in some games. And just made poor decisions. That's what it amounts to. Okay? They're learning. They haven't had a lot of practice. Like, those are the facts behind all of this. And I just feel like the media is not allowing for nuance in that way. And maybe that's what podcasts, they're not for that. I guess they're not necessarily for nuance. But it's frustrating to watch all these people. I mean, the whole WNBA is being vilified right now. And then, of course, you get like the certain bad actors, as they want to frame it as, and they're vilified as well. But like generally, when everybody's got their little hot takes, they're like, the league is trying to take down Caitlin Clark. And there was like this compilation of videos of Caitlin hitting the ground, basically. Now, first of all, are we gonna act like she doesn't throw her body and embellish a little bit? Let's be serious, okay? And the WNBA didn't make her do that. We saw her do it in college, okay? In that sequence of the compilation, it was Breanna Stewart's pick on her above the 3-point line. She slams into it. That's not a Breanna Stewart problem. Everybody set screens. That's not anybody picking on Caitlin Clark. That's her teammates not calling out a screen. Like, what are we talking about? The Angel Reese clip from yesterday, she's boxing out and like, yeah, her elbow is a bit high, but it's like all that force did not swing that girl to the floor like that. Okay. I can't think of what the other clips were, but they just it was, Izzy Magmagor. I don't think I'm saying the last name right, but Izzy from Seattle goes to block her shot. Like, was no like kind of bad boys, Detroit Pistons kind of block. It was like she went to contest the ball and on her follow through, bring her hand down, she hits Caitlin Clark in the head. And like not an egregious follow through or anything like that. Not this ridiculously hard hit to the top of the head. It was just a basketball play. And those were like the 4 clips in the video. Like, what are we even talking about? Yes, physicality is physicality because you're being blitzed on every pick and roll. Like, yes, people know that you are the offense for this team. The team does not run without you, or at least you in the game plan. Because I argue, they've looked really good with her not on the floor. So I'm not going to say that she's their savior, which I think is a big part of the problem here. The narrative is she's the savior. She's a savior to the Indiana Fever. She's a savior to the WNBA and getting eyes on the game. But I just think the physicality is not like overwhelming in the way that we're talking about it right now. And I had this argument with Andriana and my sister, and we'll have her on the podcast to share her thoughts at some point. But we disagreed on a lot of it, and she thinks like it's over the top with Caitlin Clark and the schemes and everything. But I think the biggest part is, okay, if we know that the game is going to be run through you, if we shut you down, this is like any scouting report, right? Like, we shut down your most effective player. Because Caitlin's not just scoring, right? She's drawing fouls. She's assisting. She's helping run the offense, right? She's doing other things. That's why I thought, like, Kennedy Carter's tweet, her tweet said, what does she do besides shoot threes? Which, like, okay. Fair, but not fair. Because there's a lot to her game. She's very multifaceted, and it's only going to get better from here. I think at her size, like, I just think it can only get better. But I think her point is, like, in any category, there is someone else who does what she does. It's just, I think it's just hard. It's hard to articulate. There's not one part of her game that, like, we just have never seen ever in life. Again, the distance, I think, is the biggest part, right? Like, I think that's the biggest draw here is, like, the distance. Because that's the only difference between her game and, like, Sabrina Ionescu's game. And I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, somebody DM me and we could talk about it. But in a lot of ways, she is Sabrina Ionescu. And also, I had this thought. It's like, and this is no shade to white women coming in the league who have, their face on everything. But, like, it's like, who's the next white girl to come into the WNBA and be the marketing spotlight? Like Breanna Stewart in recent years. Breanna Stewart, she was like the focus of everyone's attention. And then it was Sabrina. Might have been Kelsey. Kelsey for a little bit. Her first year didn't go as well as people expected. It was Kelsey. Then it was Sabrina. And then now it's Caitlin Clark. So who's the next one? It's Paige. I think that's the answer. It is Paige. But I think it's a hard. I feel bad for Caitlin Clark. I do, because it's a no-win situation for her. She's been dang near perfect probably in every interview she's had where she's kind of said the right thing. Again, except for the like whining about calls and stuff, she should have just like let these people. She should have just like not said anything at all. That's not what she chose to do. But at some point, people are looking for your downfall, and I think she needs to be careful about that as well. She's whining all the time. I think that doesn't help her image, but people are galvanizing behind her whining because they think it is justified. And it only seems justified because of the media. And so I just think there's so many factors that go into this narrative. So the bottom line is, stop letting men talk about the WNBA on their podcast, because I'm sick of hearing it, and there's only bad things that come out of it. All right? Okay, moving on. Actually, before I move on, I want to say that there's a podcast, I think it's called Giggly Squad, where they're talking about Angel Reese. And this is back in like April. This is before the situation happened. And one of the girls is like, you're just jealous because, or y'all are making her the villain because she's got a really good winged eyeliner and she can talk trash. It just seems like you're jealous. And like that clip, that soundbite is going to be my personality for a little while. So I just want y'all to know that. And then actually, I've had so many thoughts. I had so many conversations with people who don't even like know basketball or watch the WNBA recently about this. this idea that people are jealous of her. And I don't think it's jealousy. I think there's the frustration of not getting what you were due when you were in that position, maybe coming into the league. And also the like disrespect that comes generally to the league based on everybody's thoughts about Caitlyn, right? As if Caitlyn was the coming of Jesus. I saw Elle Duncan say it basically like that. It's not the issue that it's Caitlyn. It's the fact that y'all just want people to worship her. And like people aren't going to do that because these are grown women who play basketball, who put in just as much work as Caitlin Clark, who were here before Caitlin Clark. Like I would feel a type of way as well. Right. And I don't think they're taking it out on her. I think they're taking it out on the narrative and letting y'all know, like, we were here. This is our league. I think they appreciate the attention that comes with Caitlin Clark and this spectacle and the potential charter flights that happened maybe faster than they would have. But I'm not buying that they are jealous of her. I think that they respect what she's brought to the game, but like, don't get crazy. And then all this spicy talk did remind me of that Diana Taurasi when she kissed Simone Augustus on the cheek. I remember watching that live and being like, Diana Taurasi is insane. And I don't think anything has changed, honestly. She is the same person she was then, but that I do remember just being like crazy. And then that time Candace Parker got into a fight. I don't know if that was her rookie year or not, but there was a big crowd on that one. I'm going to have to go look that back up because that seems like such a long time ago. All right, we got to keep moving because like I said, I got a party soon and I'm still just here chatting away on the same one topic. Nadal. We might have seen Nadal's last match at Roland Garros, for the French Open, which is by far his best event. There's no one better on clay. And yeah, it's sad if that's the truth. Now, Serena's old coach, which I don't know how to say that man's name. If you know, you know. He said because he was able to be so competitive with Zverev that he thinks he's going to come back, which I'm like, I mean, a year is a long time, but like, why not? I say, let's do it. Like, if you can be competing with the number 4 guy in the world, I mean, you got to go for it. But I do think champions think a little differently. But I feel like if you can put in the work and still make it happen, then let's do it. I'm still not over Serena, and that's that on that. All right. Justin Timberlake pulled up on the side of some fans. He heard his song. They were in like the fans were in like this bike drawn carriage type thing. And he rolled down the window. He heard his song and he was like, I like that song. And of course they realize it's Justin Timberlake. And one girl like starts to freak out and she gets out of the car and she's trying to go up to the door. Like nothing crazy though. Like she wasn't being a psycho fan. But it looks like he was about to roll the window up, which I hope he didn't do. I'm like still waiting for the woman to comment on it. That's what's so funny about it. Like comment on the video and be like, oh, actually we did get a photo. Because I'm really hoping he did that. I really hope he allowed her to come to the car at least and get a picture. And if he didn't, then he needs to fix his PR nightmare. It's not a nightmare. There's only so many people who know about this. But it's me and the people in the comments. It would be vindicating for us. He needs to bring those 2 women to a concert. Yeah. Because the woman, she has commented under the video because the video just cuts off before, I didn't say that, before you know what happens next. Whether he took a picture, whether he stopped. They were in traffic, so who knows? Like, he needs to contact this woman. Again, she's in the comments. I know her name is Tamara because I've been going back to make sure she hasn't responded. And yeah, me and a bunch of other fans in the comments are like, bruh, what happened? Did you talk to her at all? Did you just roll the window up on her and drive off? Because that would be raggedy. So raggedy. But I'm hoping he did the right thing because this would not be a good thing for him. He's already in hot water with people. But I am going to see him next week. I'm excited. So that won't be on the next podcast, but the podcast after that, I'll give you a review. And if not, just go to my Instagram at Shantiana Keys because I'm sure I'll be documenting it there. Couple more things. So there's this woman named Taylor Momsen. I guess she was on Gossip Girl. I didn't watch the original. But she got bit by a bat on her leg while she was performing on stage. Like, I watched the whole video. It flies onto her, the people in the crowd are like pointing, like, there's something on you. And she's like, what? She looks down. There's a bat just on her body, like on her dress. And she tells people that, hey, can somebody get this off of me? Can someone get this off of me? Which I don't even know how she stayed still. Y'all, that bat bit her. Yeah. And that is something I can't think of. To be, one, in a foreign country, and two, to be bit by a bat. In what seemed like broad daylight, actually. Now that I think about it. Maybe it was the lights. I hope it was the lights. But y'all, it bit her. And like, there's a photo of like the blood coming out where she clearly got bit by a bat. It's just not a nightmare I thought I'd ever have. And that's crazy. Like, she has to get rabies shots, and that's awful. But she kept going. Anyway, moving on. Like I said, I watched the documentary of Lainey Wilson. This is a special by Robin Roberts on Hulu. You should check it out. I learned so much about her. I've been hyper fixated on her for like the last 2 or 3 days since I watched it. She seems so cool. She's from a town of like 200 people in Louisiana with her very thick Southern accent, and just like from a farm. Took her 10 years to make it in Nashville, and like now she's the bell-bottom country girl that everybody loves, and she's just like having this meteoric rise. And now I want some bell-bottoms. Like, never thought I want bell-bottoms, but she made me think about it. So but phenomenal. Okay, the album is great. All right, is it a no skips album? I'm not sure about that. It's probably like a 8 out of 10, 8.5. But there are some bangers on there. Grease, which she did a performance of Grease. It's a song, not like the movie. But phenomenal song. Love that song. But yeah, very obsessed with her. Kelly Clarkson apparently is obsessed with her as well, which makes me believe like she's a good person, because Kelly Clarkson has good vibes. You can tell only deals with people who are likable. So shout out to Kelly Clarkson. Shout out to Lainey Wilson. Great music. Even better style. Love the vibe. Okay, I think that's it. My genuinely curious question for this week is, are there any studies out there about dating on dating apps and the success of those relationships? And if us people who are not on dating apps are going to not meet people because of that. So where's the data on that? Okay? Someone let me know. This was a blast. As always, I can't wait for y'all to see who our next guest is. I'll give you one hint. It is basketball related. And like, not shocking on this podcast because we do a lot of that, but they are somewhat of a basketball expert. Specifically women's basketball expert. Okay, that was it. That's all I'm going to give you right now. Yeah, okay. It's been genuinely curious, and I can't wait to see y'all next week. Bye.